Welcome to the Mile High Birth Club, a club so exclusive you can't even plan to join it. Free flights for life? Is that even possible? Watch till the end. Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because we're about to dive into a truly bizarre legal gray area. The kind that makes you question everything you thought you knew about citizenship and birthrights. What happens when a baby decides to make its grand entrance at 30,000 feet? It's not just a medical emergency, it's a legal conundrum. Picture this. You're on an international flight, peacefully enjoying a tiny bag of pretzels, maybe sipping on a soda, when suddenly a very different kind of announcement blasts through the cabin. Someone's water just broke. The flight attendants spring into action, and the cabin transforms into an impromptu delivery room. Yes, believe it or not, babies being born on airplanes is a thing. A rare thing, thankfully, but a thing nonetheless. These airborne births are the stuff of legends and viral news stories. And it begs the question, what nationality does a baby born in the sky actually get? Is it the country the plane is flying over at the time of birth? Is it determined by where the plane is when the umbilical cord is cut? Or perhaps the nationality of the parents plays a role? Or maybe where the plane is registered? The country of departure or your destination country? The laws can be as varied as the flight paths themselves. Or could it be something else entirely? Some countries have specific laws for such unique situations, while others leave it up to international agreements. Buckle up, because things are about to get legally turbulent. The skies may be friendly, but the legalities of a mile-high birth are anything but straightforward. Land of the free to be born over. Let's start with a scenario many of us are familiar with, the United States. Some nations grant citizenship to anyone born within their territory, including airspace. Think United States, Canada, and Brazil. The US follows a rule called jus soli, which is fancy Latin for right of the soil. Basically, if you're born on US soil, you're automatically a US citizen. Seems straightforward, right? But hold on, what about US airspace? Does being born over American soil, even if you haven't technically touched it yet, grant you citizenship? The answer, surprisingly, is usually yes. There have been cases where babies born over US airspace have been granted US citizenship based on this interpretation of jus soli. Bloodlines and birthrights, it's all relative. But the US isn't the only game in town. Many other countries follow a different principle called jus sanguinis, meaning right of blood. This means your citizenship depends on your parents' nationality, not your place of birth. Nations like India, Germany, and Japan only grant citizenship based on the parents' nationality, so no automatic citizenship just for being born in their airspace. So, if you're born on a flight over international waters, and your parents are, say, from Nigeria, you'd likely be considered Nigerian, regardless of where the plane was at the time. It's like inheriting your nationality, rather than earning it through a dramatic mid-air arrival. This section delves into the fascinating world of international regulations that govern the skies. Now, you might be thinking, wait, doesn't anyone care what the plane thinks? Well, it turns out, the plane's registration is quite significant. Well, in a way, yes. The laws and regulations that apply to an aircraft are largely determined by the country in which the plane is registered. International law, specifically the Chicago Convention, states that an aircraft is under the jurisdiction of the country where it's registered. This means that the laws of that country apply to the aircraft no matter where it is in the world. But what about international airspace? Here's where things get even more interesting. The United Nations Convention on the Reduction of Statelessness, 1961, encourages nations to grant citizenship if a child would otherwise be left stateless. Meanwhile, the Chicago Convention, 1944, establishes rules for airspace sovereignty but doesn't dictate nationality laws. This means the final decision always rests with national governments. So technically, if a baby is born on a British Airways flight registered in the United Kingdom, even if it's over the middle of the Pacific Ocean, the United Kingdom would have the first say in determining citizenship. This can lead to some interesting legal scenarios. Of course, this is where things can get a little messy as different countries have different rules about citizenship. Countries often defer to jus soli, the right of the soil, or jus sanguinis, the right of blood, before resorting to aircraft registration as the deciding factor. This interplay of laws can create complex situations that require careful navigation by legal experts. Now, for the fun part. Flying can be an adventure in itself, but sometimes the skies hold even more surprises. While the legal side of in-flight births can be complicated, airlines sometimes like to sweeten the deal with some pretty incredible perks. Imagine being born mid-air and starting your life with a unique story. There are stories of airlines granting babies born on their planes free flights for life. Yes, you heard that right, free flights for life. It's like winning the lottery at birth. Talk about an epic birthday present. Imagine celebrating your birthday every year with a free trip to anywhere in the world. In some even rarer cases, babies born on planes have been given the middle name Sky or even named after the airline itself. It's a unique way to commemorate such a special event. Hey, it's not every day you get to celebrate a birth at cruising altitude, so why not make it memorable? The entire cabin often joins in the celebration, making it a joyous occasion for everyone on board. So the next time you board a plane, spare a thought for the lucky few who entered the world at 30,000 feet. They're part of a very exclusive club. These high-flying babies have a story that will be told for generations, making every flight a little more magical. So, what do you think? Should babies born mid-flight automatically get citizenship of the country they were flying over? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing aviation laws.